Next game, NFC Championship game, Vikings at New Orleans. First thing I gotta say is I have never seen a game with so many fumbles by one team in my whole life, especially indoors. There's no rain, there's no snow,
no mud.
I've never seen so many fumbles in my whole life.
Yeah.
You have Richmond Heights.
Yeah, you had to put that out on glass like that.
Oh, I ain't never seen it before.
I seen the Arizona-San Francisco game earlier this year.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't that many though.
And plus,
Vikings had 6 fumbles.
plus that was outside.
Oh, the Colts?
No, I'm talking about that. Arizona turned the ball over 8 times in that game.
You for real?
7.
Was it 7?
Yeah, 7.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
can't-
And the San Fran guys were stripping the ball.
Oh yeah. Well,
It's
yeah.
like Minnesota fumbled on their own.
Well, I mean, they.
There was some strips
it's
though,
like-
but most of them were there.
It's like Microsoft software; it just breaks on its own.
All right, let's talk about the keys to this game. I mean, of course, the fumbles were the big key, and it was funny to me. The Vikings seemed like in the second half, they held the Saints' offense in check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Practically, they do nothing in the second half.
Defense was great.
Yeah, it just the Vikings outplayed them in time of possession and in yards.
Mm-hmm.
They rushed the ball better than them. Favre, I think Drew Brees threw for more yards, but I think Favre was more effective until he turned into Favre and started throwing the interception. But I think the Vikings outplayed them this game, and they deserved to win this game. But those turnovers was the difference. I think the key was after the Reggie Bush fumble.
Yeah.
They turned it right over, and I think they just took the seal out of their. And I think there was some demons in place there too. I think some of the voodoo or the hoodoo, whatever they be doing down there in New Orleans, I think some of that came into play as well.
Actually, I was wondering if Derek had a voodoo doll of Brett Favre because that throw, that was too Derek-like.
But it's called Adrian Peterson not showing up at crunch time again. He didn't do it at Oklahoma. He doesn't do it in the NFL.
At crunch time in Oklahoma,
Boise State.
You gonna blame that on him?
That wasn't his.
You can't blame that on him, my Boise State. They just got out coached. That had to do with Peterson still had 150 yards.
They still lost.
But yeah, they still lost, but you can't blame it on him. Nah. You can blame it on, you can kind of give him the blame in this game, but you can't blame that Boise State game on him.
But you know one thing about New Orleans I was impressed about, even though their defense didn't really play particularly well, but they were able to put a lot of pressure on Brett Favre.
Well, yeah, they hit him a lot. They hit him a whole lot.
Well, that's the difference. You look at Brett Favre's career, and they did the same thing last week to Kurt Warner. And you notice Kurt Warner had to lead the game. Brett Favre never left the game. That's the one thing you can say about Favre through the years. They kept durable as what. He takes a lick and keeps on ticking. And, unlike, Kurt Warner. No offense to him.
But what kind of blew my mind is some of the calls that were made.
Oh, so was that last drive? Especially that last
on the last drive. The pass interference call, I can understand. The call that really blew my mind was when Pierre Thomas vaulted the pile and the ball got jarred, and they had a question about that.
Yeah.
He didn't lose possession of the football, which means he got the ball as far as he got the ball. And he got it over first down.
They gave it to him first down, didn't he?
And that was the right call. They reviewed it and they got it right. But people were talking about it like, oh,
But that was undisputable evidence, so you can't get mad at that one.
Yeah.
When I saw it first way through, I was like, that's a first down. They reviewed it. They kept it up there because it was a first down.
I thought it was amazing he was able to keep that ball under control the way he got hit.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you're running the ball, unless it comes out of your possession, it's in your possession no matter how it gets jarred.
Yeah.
He didn't lose possession of the football.
Yeah.
So I don't. The reason they were even questioning the spot was ridiculous.
What also made me, there was one sack in the whole game, I think. As much pressure they put on Favre, but still was only one sack.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota did the same thing to Drew Brees. They were putting pressure on him, too.
Yeah, but not like they were doing.
Not like
they were doing the Favre, though.
Favre was getting it out.
Getting beat up, man.
Yeah, some of the throws, like in the first half, they were kind of off. But, I mean, you could tell it's like just, him getting hit all the time. Because I think he got hit like 11, 12 times in the first half. And you know, yeah, that had an effect.
Well, does this? Well, like I was going to talk to you about. Does this tarnish Brett Favre's legacy? Now this is 2 games, twice. You know, he ended his season with the Packers on a bad interception, and then now he's doing it this way. You know, all season long. This is what I kept saying all season long. As long as they kept handing the ball to Peterson, not trying to make Brett Favre win the game, they would be fine. But that didn't happen this year, and they were fine. But the day that happened, in that game, it happened. Finally, that guy been sent all year long.
Yeah, I mean, can you blame him?
His
for that?
performance this year, I mean, even though they lost in the NFC title game, their performance this year didn't sully his legacy, but his behavior over the last few years has.
He is who he thought he is. He did
I
the
don't
same thing he did.
I don't think it tarnishes his legacy at all, really. I mean, I think this is Brett Favre being Brett Favre.
Exactly.
He's a risk taker.
I live and die with that.
Yeah.
But
He died yesterday.
But this is another stat. They're in games this year, he had to throw the ball 45 times or more. They're 2-3, so that proves that stat that get the ball to Peterson more, and which that's still.
Can you blame him for as many times as he fumbled the ball?
We'll give it to Tristan Taylor. He ain't bad back.
Oh yeah, I mean they gave it to him a few
Yeah,
times.
you know what? The one thing they did mention during the game, even though he hasn't run as much, like his pass receptions went up this year. Peterson's.
Yeah.
So I mean that was the trade-off. But yeah, they should have run him a lot more this year. But
Let's talk about that last drive in the fourth quarter. The Vikings, made some mistakes all game, but that 12th man on the field, the 12th man in the huddle space was huge because at that point they probably be handing the ball off, get some yards, set up maybe a 50-yard field goal. Then it became a 56-yard field goal. That's a big difference.
right.
I know it's indoors, but you still got that 56-yarder. You can't count on that. A 50-yarder indoors is a little more. So you got 55, 60% chance of making that. It's a kicker.
And they had one of the best. They got one of the best field goal kickers in the league as far as long distance.
Yeah.
Ryan Longwell.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the Chargers had that last week. What's your point?
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah. There's some history.
You still want to at least
this
give yourself a
postseason.
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now this next question is: what do the Vikings need to do in the off season? Well, first of all, they just found out if Favre coming back, so we're not even going to that issue. But say he does come back, what else do they need to do?
Secondary. That needs to be addressed.
Okay.
Probably offensively.
Offensively,
It's solid. Yeah.
Offensively, their offensive line is getting up there.
Yeah.
They may get draft some guys to come behind them, but offensively they're old. But if Favre doesn't come back, they need to get a quarterback.
Most definitely.
Yeah, it's like, they need.
But they can't get one in the draft that's going to be ready to play.
Yeah, they need to groom the heir apparent of Brett Favre next year, no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, whether he comes back 1, 2, 3, 4 years, it doesn't matter. They need to groom an heir apparent of Brett Favre next year. They should have been doing it this year. And if they don't do it, I mean, if he leaves and they don't have somebody who can just step in, they're screwed. They're screwed until they can get that guy up to speed.
All right, so where does this NFC Championship game rank among the other NFC Championship games? We just put it in the top 5. That's great NFC Championship game because it was a 41-38, 31-28 game, and it came down to overtime.
This is one of the best ones I've seen. I think I could put it in the top 5. I'm not necessarily saying it's the very top, but I mean, just as far as games I've seen, I put it in top 5 as far as NFC Championship games.
All right, then what about Drew Brees? Does this now put him in the category of the elite quarterbacks up there with Manning, Tom Brady?
Should have been.
Yeah, he already was.
To me, he was already up there.
Yeah, people just didn't want to put him up there because he doesn't, quote unquote, look like a quarterback. It's like there are guys that look like a quarterback. I'm not going to say any names, Jim Druckenmiller, that aren't in the league anymore.
He looked like a
Wait, who
linebacker.
drafted him?
The Browns and
No, the 49ers drafted him.
I
Chose him instead of, what was it, Jake Plummer?
All right. Well, we're gonna take a break.
Take Jake.
We're gonna take a break. We come back. We're gonna preview the upcoming Super Bowl. We're gonna break down each section of each team: quarterback, running back, receiver,